Hey folks, Nick Harrington here. I'm out here on Lake Oahe trolling crankbaits, and I just wanted to take a couple minutes here and kind of show you my favorite crankbaits here for Lake Oahe. We talked about my favorite crankbaits for Lake Sharp. That is pretty simple, and Oahe is probably the opposite. I deploy a lot of different baits on Lake Oahe, and the reason being is Lake Sharp, when you think about it, that is pretty much predominantly a gizzard shad fishery. So I focus my baits entirely into that. Now when we talk Lake Oahe, we've kind of got three different forage bases that these fish are frequenting, I guess, for lack of a better term. So that would be gizzard shad, of course. There are gizzard shad that are stocked in the Lake Oahe to provide kind of a warm water prey base. Then there are the smelt. Those are what we're most comfortable with, those rainbow smelt. That's the heyday of Lake Oahe. It's always been smelt driven. And then the other bait is going to be those Cisco lake herring. And this is one, without getting too into the details, when the smelt numbers are down, the Cisco numbers are up. And kind of vice versa. When the smelt numbers are up, they really keep that Cisco population in check. What this means is we've got three different prey bases out here on Lake Oahe. So you're gonna see a pretty wide diversity in the baits that I deploy when I'm out here. And each prey base is kind of gonna speak to different size fish. Now, that's not a hard and fast rule. You're not only gonna catch trophies on one bait, you're not only gonna catch slots on another, but you're kind of gonna see a theme here as I go through my favorite baits. So let's talk about first what we're doing when we target those gizzard shad. And so then I got pretty much two go-tos here. I already threw one down. Perfect. Now we're back. I already threw one down, but here we go. So I got two number 7s, the flicker shad, the Rapala Shad Rap, the two most classic shad baits that are available in the market. And I'm sure this is a shock to y'all, but I like them in purple. Purple tiger, purple descent. Blue is another great color. Blue tiger, I think it's just straight blue for Rapala. But these are your two go-to baits. They're gonna emulate that shad really well. I like to use them on the inside rods that I run deeper. Just seems like a little bit more of a natural presentation, and it does generally target those slot fish more, but again, there is no hard and fast rule. But when you think about what those fish between 15 and 20 inches are eating, a lot of it is gizzard shad. Well, if I had to pick two awesome gizzard shad baits, it'd be these two right here, the flicker shad and the shad wrap. Put them both down. Sometimes they favor the rattle, the flicker shad. Sometimes they favor the balsa, the purple descent. Honestly though, if you got them out, one of these out, you're in pretty good shape covering your shad population. Now one thing too, just because, I mean, these fish are used to bigger baits. I fish them more aggressively. It's in the fall. This is a shad dancer, a Rapala Shad dancer. Shockingly, it's in purple, right? But this, just a bigger, wider wobble. It's the same size profile, but I mean, for the most part, this one's a little bit beefier, but this one fishes way bigger just because it's got that wider action. It's got that big tail dancer attitude. Great bait for especially when I'm trying to target those bigger overs. It's still a smaller profile, but it fishes way bigger. So this is one that I like to deploy when I'm out here too. Wild card kind of that you're not used to seeing. And you're also noticing these are all number 7s, whereas down on Lake Sharp, I'm using predominantly number 5s. Again, the forage base is just a little bit bigger here on Lake Oahe. So now let's start talking about the smelt and herring category. So we'll put that in the minnow category. Here's a bait I think y'all are familiar with. This is the Walleye Nation's Creations Reaper. I would be remiss to not include this in the Lake Oahe crankbait report because it is courtesy of the South Dakota state record right now. So would be remiss to include this. Another big, wide wobbling action. I think it dives to 20, 25 feet. I think 20 feet. But big bait. This is my favorite color here on Lake Oahe. That silver and blue does a really nice job emulating that cold water prey base we have down there. Now, we're gonna get back into kind of my larger profiles. So flicker minnow here. Racy shad, great color. Again, you're gonna see blues and purples here. Racy shad's a great color up here. Number 9s, number 11 flicker minnows, and then same thing, number 9s, number 11 tail dancers. Well, this is 11, this is a 9, but you see what I'm going for. And shocking, it's purple. But again, does a good job emulating those smelt, those lake herring, just the biggest bait you can get down there, and this does a really good job emulating those. Generally speaking, probably gonna be better for your overs, generally, but again, there's no hard and fast rule out here. The point is, there's a lot of different bait profiles, there's a lot of different bait sizes, so that means you gotta get really creative with the baits you deploy. Again, purple and blue, I start there. I focus less on color on Lake Oahe, and I focus more on profile first, whether it's shad or minnow, and then size. That's how I dial it in. But if I had to sit here and I had to pick only a few baits that I had to pull on Lake Oahe for the rest of my life, this is what it would be. So just wanted to take that time. Was gonna do a full-fledged video with y'all. This was actually my last day of pre-fishing the South Dakota Governor's Cup, but it stormed, it blew really hard. It's finally gotten pretty nice, and it's like 10, yeah, it's 10:50. But yeah, want to do a full-fledged video, but I kind of like doing these shorter, show my favorite bait videos too. So thanks all for the support this summer. Hope you're liking these videos. If you're not, I'm sorry. Let me know that you're not, and if you are, let me know too, so I can keep making more of them. Good fishing.